A short stage in the Tour de France, stage 11 here in Toulouse, one day after the rest day, but I can tell you a short stage packed a big punch. And spoiler alert, Tadej Pogacar, three-time Tour de France champion, hit the ground with around 4 kilometers to go, picked himself up, finished with the group because race leader and his team, Ben Healy and EF Education Easy Post, slowed it down when it seemed like others, including number one rival for Tadej Pogacar, Jonas, wanted to keep attacking. Everything came in together and we saw the stage winner of Jonas, Abrahamsen, Team UAE, and what a story for this Norwegian team. Third year, I think it is, racing the Tour de France, and they pull off their first victory. Not even a World Tour team, and they say it's one of the smallest budget teams here at the Tour de France. Hard to believe with all that oil money that Norway has off its shores, but apparently they are. And today, they score a stage in the Tour de France with only 21 stages and a lot of the big teams and big riders taking the majority of the wins. It was UAE, Jonas, Abrahamsen, getting stage victory in Toulouse at the end of stage 11. Attacks were going all day, and in that main attack, well, it was Jonas, Abrahamsen, joined by Mauro Schmid, the Swiss champion, and Davide Ballerini from Team Astana, Schmid from Jayco. Then Fred Wright and Brigado joined up with him, making a group of 5 at one point. But believe me, there were attacks all day, and you want to go back and rewatch the coverage because I can't cover it all here. We had a climb early on in the stage, and we had 4 categorized climbs towards the end. Short, power-packed stage, especially important because this is on the eve of the first major mountain day in the 2025 Tour de France, the stage to Hautacam. Attacks all day, and a group of 5 formed behind our front group of 5. That included Mathieu van der Poel, Wout van Aert, Quinn Simmons, Axel Laurence, and Arnaud Delis. 5 heavy hitters that somehow that gap never came down lower than 20 seconds. They were hovering there at 20, 25 seconds for the majority of the final 1/3 of the stage. We were wondering what the heck is going on. Why don't they pull it back? Perhaps they were waiting not to catch them too soon so they could catch them right before the finish line and then they could launch their attacks. Either way, it all came to nothing because we saw Quinn Simmons launch his attack. Wow, aggressive move. I think it was on the penultimate climb with around 16 kilometers to go. The American is out there. He was out there the day before the rest day on Bastille Day, and he's out there again today on the roads here to Toulouse, firing in that U.S. Championship jersey and just coming up short yet again. On the climb, over the climb, then he starts to drift back. He had picked up Brigado that was drifting back from the lead group, picked up Fred Wright, but then he started to fade and he couldn't reach the front trio that became a duo that was just Schmid and Abrahamsen up there fighting for the stage victory. But attention, it wasn't certain because a certain Mathieu van der Poel attacked on that last climb around 800 meters long with a maximum of 19%. Oh, van der Poel on the move, the sort of move that you'd expect, and he says this is his last chance in several days for the Tour de France, and he wanted to give it a go, unlike the all-day escape that he tried the other day, a few days ago. But he couldn't do anything with our lead duo up front, and it came down to a sprint final. Oh, and final bit of drama, some crazy nut job runs onto the course, and one of the organizer workers just tackled him, body slammed him, full Nelson, off onto the sides of the barriers on the right-hand sides. They came in for the 2-up sprint. UAE rider gets it, 24 years old. And get this, 2 weeks before the Tour de France, he had broken his collarbone, so had time to recover and made it to the Tour de France, probably still recovering on his bike in those first stages. Now let's roll it back to the GC group because they're around 5 minutes or so, and there were some moves during the day. I think around 68 kilometers to go, it was Healy that was following an attack of Jonas, and I think they'd caught Tadej Pogacar sleeping a bit, not paying attention. He was caught off guard. He's out there in the rainbow jersey because remember, Healy has the yellow jersey picked up on the Mont d'Or stage on Bastille Day, stage 10. That came to nothing, but it was interesting. We saw Remco up in that move as well. And then we had also heard early on in the day, or perhaps it was after that in the feed zone, there were teams attacking Tadej Pogacar in the feed zone, and that's just not done. And so there's going to be some bad vibes happening in the peloton for the next few days. Keep an eye out on these rivalries that are going on, especially between Team Visma Leasebike and UAE Team Emirates. Let me know down in the comments Are you a fan of the Visma team or the UAE team? Pick one. Inter or Milan? Decide. Pick one team and go for it. Coppi or Bartoli? Let me know down in the comments, but this is the duel between UAE, Visma, Pogačar, 3-time Tour de France winner, and Ving, 2-time Tour de France winner. And they're coming in here, and then we see this incident. They make it over that climb, and leading into that climb is interesting. Campy led it right into the climb. Then we saw the move of Ving. We saw Rog right on it. Jorgensen was leading it for a little bit before that attack. Pog was right there on it. Okay, it came to nothing over the top, and we were focusing on the sprint here between the front duo. Then, 4 kilometers out, we get this dramatic moment. Rainbow champion, world champion in the rainbow jersey, hits the deck. The whole group seemed to be drifting off to the right. Tadej didn't seem to see them, and he looked up, and he seemed to overlap wheels. We're going to have to get the slow-mo replay. We're going to be showing it for you right here as I'm speaking so you can get a good look, because I'm running around here. I haven't seen anything. It looked like it was Tobias Johannesson who clipped him, and we could see his arm go up to say sorry afterwards as they're drifting off to the right. Tadej's down on his left-hand side, hip, elbow, bloody. It looked bad, and this was out further than 3K, so he's losing time. But at one point, we see Healy and the EF boys slow it down. But we had heard from one of the photographers that Vingegaard wanted to keep attacking, and I'm sure later on Tadej's going to hear this too, and it's not going to be good vibes. It seems that Pog and Matteo Jorgensen already have a beef between them with the old water bottles, and now we have this. Eventually everybody set up, and they all came in together, wow, 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 and then I went over to the UAE bus where I was just camped out for a while. I got Mario Gianetti, the team GM, talking about Tadej. Tadej rolled up, got right on the bus, hasn't spoken, didn't speak. We waited outside the bus forever. We thought maybe he'd get in one of the lead vans and we'd get some images of him after he got out the van, but didn't. The bus rolled out, Tadej rolled out, along with a lot of question marks on Tadej Pogacar's condition as we head into the Hautacam stage 12, the first mountain stage of this 2025 Tour de France. A lot's going to be decided on the day. We're going to understand Tadej Pogacar's condition. We're going to understand this duel left and right between Visma, UAE, and we're going to see if this guy right over here, see a shot of him right now, Ben Healy, in the yellow jersey. To see the pink, that's his team helper. We got the yellow of Ben Healy. Held on to the yellow jersey for one more day. The Irishman, tomorrow's going to be a testing day. My guess is he's not going to hold on to it. Tune in tomorrow, the Hautacam stage, and questions will be answered after the crash at Tadej Pogacar here in Toulouse.